podcast, High Expectations. Today I have Cole Bissot with me. He's at Alabama University and he's studying to be an engineer. So, what are you studying specifically as an engineer right now?
You know, the general classes that you have to take, Cal. I'm in the basics at the moment, so still have an English class I have to take thrown in there. Next semester, I'll be really in-depth on the engineering classes. I've got 3, so that'll work out well. But yeah.
Okay. Do you have a group of people you're hanging out with and working with as engineers as well?
Not yet. I'm really focused on just trying to get a resume together. I haven't joined any clubs yet, but there's career fairs that go on around school where I will be just showing up and hopefully putting a resume together and getting interviews and hopefully getting an internship over the summer. My goal throughout these school years to come is to get an internship every summer I can. That way, coming right out of college, most of the times they hire directly, and so just that'll be an easy flow and transition straight from graduation to a job right off the bat.
Gotcha. So, are you a part of the Bama Catholic down in Alabama?
Yeah, so a little name drop. For those of you interested in applying to the University of Alabama, or at least have that in the thought as a future, I highly recommend it, and especially if you're Catholic. And a lot of you are going to be like, what? Bama Catholic? That's kind of weird. But actually, it's a lot of fun. There's 1,300 students, I believe, is what the tally was last time they did it. And there's not that many actually that show up consistently every day. But there is still at least over 200 kids that are at all the events. And it's huge. It's a lot of fun. They do worship every Wednesday. And then as they do retreats twice a year. And it's just really awesome. It's a community I've gotten involved with a lot.
Okay. Do they help you out with your motivation with your, like, what you choose to study in college? Like, do they help you with engineering at all? Like, help you motivate you and stuff?
I wouldn't say they help motivate me. A lot of my friends are in Bama Catholic. I've got a lot of friends in there that are engineers as well, so that's really beneficial to me. I've kind of bonded with some of them in that way, and we go to study rooms and just hang out and talk. And since we're already friends outside of the classroom, it's not awkward.
Okay.
So it's easy to talk to them about it, and I'll see them at Spirit and Truth and be like, yo, you want to go study Cal after this? And we'll go study Cal after it or something like that. Yep.
I hear you're also working hard on a farm, at home too.
Well, you don't hear, actually.
I know.
Yeah.
I know
So,
because he's my brother. But
yeah, we both happen to be farmers, funny enough. Over the summer, we did a lot of work haying fields, fixing fences, anything you name it, we've probably done it as far as farming goes, just with cows and sometimes chickens. We do management, so we're in charge of keeping any sort of hayfield up to date. If the fence is really messed up after a storm, we'll be called, we'll go do it. And that's really just a summer job. I mean, we had a couple days, the hours ranged so much. We had a couple days where we'd go out and it'd be like, we had one week where it was like 70-hour week. It was crazy.
It was hot.
From like 5 to, the hours would range from 5 in the morning all the way to like 8 or 9 at night. We've had a night where we went to 10:30. It's late nights. It's hard work, but it's worth it. The experience is really valuable, especially as a mechanical engineer, because what a lot of companies will do is they'll look at that experience in the future and just realize, because farming isn't for the weak-minded and weak-willed. It's very frustrating and can get on your nerves. So it's good for them to know that you have that persistence inside of you. And honestly, that experience is really valuable as well, especially in that field. I plan on actually in the future, if I'm getting into a comfortable and stable job and my weekends are going to start, would open up in the end on using farming as a part-time job, possibly for my future, helping out my grandfather, who we work for 2 people. My grandfather and then another local farmer who does a bunch of stuff as well. So I've been involved with them for 3 years now. So it's been good.
So I hear you like helping other people. Is that true? Or I see it from what you've done for me too. Is do you enjoy helping other people, which could help with your major too as a mechanical engineer?
In what ways are you talking about specifically?
Like, I know you started to enjoy what you're farming, and started to enjoy like just going out there and doing whatever you can to help someone out so they don't have a problem?
I really do enjoy helping other people. I'm not the best about just dropping it. Like if I was somebody called me and really needed help, I'll probably mumble and complain for a little bit, but eventually I'll go do it. And I do like helping other people a lot. A lot of it comes from my dad. He's really good about that and not complaining at all if somebody really needs help. Like if I get a flat tire on the interstate, he'll drop whatever he's doing and come pick me up and won't say a word or complain about it, just because that's the kind of person he is. I try my best not to complain whenever somebody needs help because I know it's for both of our good. It's good for me to kind of just stop and just do good for other people. It's a virtue, so
Gotcha.
patience is a virtue, everybody. It does exist.
Mm-hmm. You think as a mechanical engineer, do you think you can make it through all the semesters and or all of the years you have to be an engineer to get your major and work hard each year maintaining like good grades?
So,
Because it's a very hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, the thing about mechanical engineering, for any of you going into it, is you gotta understand good grades all the time are not always possible. I mean, they're possible. I think plausible is a better word, though. Plausible, yes.
Sounds right.
It's a very difficult major. You gotta put that into perspective. It's not easy to maintain it all 4 years because it's not for the weak-willed, and they have weed out classes that are designed purposely to get the people that aren't really strong about like what their major is gonna be to get them out of there. But I think I'm focused enough that I can get through it. This first semester was actually really tough because I had some dual enrollment credits from high school, so they transferred over, and I had upper level math classes and stuff like that I had to work on. But those were difficult, and sometimes you just got to get through the class. I think I'm pretty strong enough to be able to get through it all 4 years. Another option I've thought about taking, I owe a lot of credit to my law teacher in high school. He was phenomenal, and he's kind of influenced me towards possibly the criminal justice system after engineering. I've heard from a good bit of people that being an engineer and going into law is something that they actually really look for. And if I do, which is probably not likely, but if I do feel like doing more school after I'm done my 4 years of study,
Go to law school.
then I'll go to law school. But most engineers are fed up with their studies after 4 years.
That's a long 4 years for sure.
Indeed, it is.
So, do you? I don't know from your perspective, but like, what is your high expectations? What are you trying to reach? Like, what are you working at right now? What do you plan on doing after college?
I'm not going to have an answer for you yet after college. Obviously, I want to be a mechanical engineer. So, the whole goal of college is a lot of people going to college with this mindset that you have to know exactly what you want to be. Like, sure, you're gonna want to know your major. You're gonna want to know your major. But people go into college with this mindset that you're going to know exactly what you're going to be after you're out of college. And then when you go into college, you're so worried about that in the end, you're really not going to turn out to be that person anyways. I think you got to have an open mind when going into what you want to be, because it's really important to not close yourself in. That's how I love the fact that I'm going to do internships over the summers, because that way I'm going to get to experiment with what I like, what I don't like. And if I really don't see myself pursuing the engineering career after I get my major, I will have that degree to go into law, because I know that law can be used as a fallback because I enjoy it. And so I'll have that as a fallback. But my goal is purely to get an internship and just focus on trying to learn from it and seeing if there's stuff about it that I enjoy. Other goals, like life goals for me, are going to be my faith, probably. Not probably. That's a guarantee, actually. But it's a huge part of my life. I've tried to get involved with as much stuff at Bama Catholic as I can. There's Bible studies every Tuesday night, and I've got a group of guys that we have a Bible study. It's phenomenal. It's really important. It's helped my faith tremendously at Alabama. There's Spirit and Truth, which is every Wednesday, which is adoration with music. And I am on the worship team, so I play guitar every other Wednesday, so once every 3 weeks. And that's been a really cool experience because I love playing guitar, and I haven't gotten to play a lot for other people, and I really enjoy that because it's my way of just expressing myself. And so that's just been really awesome. And then they do mass and meals on Sundays as well, And so what it is at 6 p.m. they'll have a student mass, and then right after, all the students will go and have a meal afterward, and it's just really fun to go out and socialize with a lot of people. And for those of you who have a football infatuation, Nick Saban does make a guest appearance every once in a while at the 11 o'clock mass or the 8:30. I can testify he has sat directly behind me at one of the masses. So during the sign of peace, I kind of turned around and was like going to shake his hand, and then decided not to because that was awkward. But yeah, that's so. If you want to see Nick Saban, go to church.
It's a famous man right there.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Alabama didn't do it that well this year,
Yeah.
we made it to the playoffs.
No need to talk about
our
us
loss
not being
against
in the national
Michigan. Yeah.
championship.
What inspired you to choose mechanical engineer? Is it because why did you choose that over law?
So it's funny because I'm contradicting what a lot of people say. Engineering is not a passion for me, and I know a lot of people focus on your dream major, what you want to what you want your dream job to be. And a lot of times, in reality, that's not going to be what you're going to get, and it's not feasible all the time either. Like if I wanted a dream job right now, it'd be to be a musician, but it's not going to happen because it's just not something that's like expected in reality. Like it won't happen. And so I've just got to be real with myself. And one of my main goals is to be a dad, and I really want to be a dad, and I want to be able to financially keep my family in a stable place in the future. And so I really thought that mechanical engineering would be a good route because both our parents are civil engineers, and I know that they don't particularly want me to go into the civil engineering field because there's not really a whole lot of broadness with that major. You're very limited, and the pay isn't as good as it would be with mechanical engineer. And while a lot of people could say money isn't a factor, it is a pretty big factor actually. And it's not that I care so much about the money. I just want to be able to not worry about bills in the future with the family, and just be able to financially keep them stable. And so that's really important for me. But another reason is because I'm pretty good at math, so I kind of just was like, why not? And I'm not going to be a math major. For those of you who are math majors, it's kind of weird, not going to lie, but y'all do you.
You're basically saying it's going to put you in a place where you can maintain your life in the future and not have to worry about all the stresses of life and kids. And
a lot of people go into life with this mindset where it's high risk, high reward, and sometimes it's not always that way. Sometimes you got to take the slow route to get to the end goal. That's going to be the beautiful point of your life, because the slow route for me, a lot of people are in college right now, and they're just, and it's not a diss to them at all. They're like, some people actually need to pursue their dream major because some people are really ridiculously good at it. Like my roommate, he's a phenomenal sports broadcaster, and he has a big future in that. And sure, his college isn't going to be he's not going to have as many challenging classes as I have, but he's pursuing his college career in a different way by going to do sports broadcast interviews, or going to the basketball games and doing everything that he can and interviewing people there. And he's just doing a phenomenal job at getting him, his network is out. And for people like him, I really do want you to pursue that, because sometimes your dream really is what your job needs to be in the future, and in that case it does. But yeah, if for me, I definitely wanted to just take the slower route, and an engineering road is definitely a slower route because my college is not going to be as fun as everybody else's is, because I'm going to be studying all the time, which is what I do. And a lot of people will talk about me and be like, yeah, he's studying. So it's a really hard part about college when you're going into a difficult major. But I think I can push through it and get through it, so I'm not worried about it.
Trust me, I was there for his exam week. He was studying a lot. Did not have much time with him. But
pretty awful.
Yep. So you mentioned you wanted to be, if you could choose your dream major, you wanted to be a musician. I know that you practice guitar. Like, what do you see in that situation? Like, what do you see in that position that you would,
if I was going,
if you were going to go into it? Yeah.
I don't know. I always thought it'd be cool to join a band at some point. We had a little band in high school for a while. That was cool. it's just something. Guitar is a hobby for me that I've just kind of found a passion in. It's it's something that I kind of like use as a way to just express myself, and I'm not the best singer in the world, and a lot of people can testify that. But I just like playing music, and there doesn't have to be a voice behind it, but just putting words to song. There's something so beautiful about that. Can't remember which saint it is, so for those of you that do, I'm sorry, but I've heard this from many people. But singing prayers is praying twice. A lot of people is what I've heard, and I really do understand that, because when you're singing, you're not only voicing the prayer as well, but you're putting heart behind it as also, and that's really really important in prayer, and a lot of people don't realize that, because at mass, and for those of you that don't know, we're both Catholic, so we go to a Catholic church, and so at mass, a lot of times you're just going through the motions and you're saying the prayers and the responses. But what I find the most beautiful part of mass to me always is the singing, because you're not just sitting there like going through the motions anymore. At that point, you're putting your heart into it and actually trying to make a beautiful voice come out. And it's not always for everybody who has a good voice, but the people that still try, it's really awesome to even see that, because they're not ashamed of it at all, and the Lord doesn't discount anybody. So that's really important.
What would you say is your favorite genre of music?
Huh. I'm all over the place, actually. Let's see. Uh, I range from pop to folk to country to classic rock, 80s, 90s, 70s, all
Good
those.
mix. Good
Yeah,
mix.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
A little bit of, I don't know, maybe a little bit of rap in there. You could throw it in. Not the rap a lot of people listen to. It's like if pop could become rap, that's what I listen to.
Gotcha. What is your driving force?
Where does it come from? I think just the potential of a future that's going to be fruitful, not money wise, but just spiritually wise, and just, I guess, money wise, because I want to be stable, and I keep saying that. Like, I don't want to be high class, but I also don't want to be low class. I kind of just want to fit in to the middle class and just be financially stable, because it's so important in today's world to have time with family. And I know I'm not going to get time with family if I try to go for the high class, because a lot of the time people who are higher class are going to struggle to get away from their job, and that's more difficult. And then people who are lower class are going to have to work even harder to get more money because they don't have enough money. And I feel like middle class is just perfect, because it's a way for me to hang out with my family more and kind of get to know them better. And that's what family is all about, because the family is the centralized unit of life in the end. If you think about it, family is extremely important, and it's really also important to just have kids and watch them grow, because they're essentially going to be, if your goal as a parent, they're essentially going to be a better version of you, and that's exactly what you want for them. And especially if you raise them well, and it would be really profound to see that happen. But yeah, so I think that future, that outlook, that dream is what drives me forward. And definitely our parents. My mom has been huge. For those of you who are not a mama's boy, I am. That's just me. I love to call my mom all the time. No, it's not a diss to my dad at all. But my dad just is there for me in other ways, and my mom's there for me more as a communicator. Not, again, not a diss to my dad, but my mom's there for me as a communicator. So I call her all the time at school, just about whatever, just because I like talking to her, and it's really important. And I think that drives really big for me as well.
Mm-hmm. So our parents are also engineers, which I guess they helped him also choose his major because they were his role models. So what did you see in the way that they did their jobs that also kind of motivated you? Did you see anything from them? Like, what did they give you that made you like choose that instead of any other option that could financially stable you, like a doctor, for example? Like, why did you choose engineering specifically?
It's just the life they gave us by doing it. The life I've had has been really awesome. They're great parents. I've had phenomenal memories with my family, and just the life they gave us really kind of showed me, if I was an engineer, this is the life I could have, and this is the life that my kids could have. This is exactly how I want them to grow up. And so that's really important to me. And I think kind of watching me and my siblings, or my siblings and I grow up, it's really kind of made an impact on like exactly how I want my kids to be raised, and I really respect my parents for that. So
going back to UA, why did you choose that college out of any other college? Why specifically that college?
obviously football is a big reason. Gotta throw that out there. I can't lie. So, but that's a big reason. When I toured, Bama Catholic was huge. I really wanted to go to a school like the Catholic community was going to be good. I didn't want to go to a private school though. I wanted to still go to a state school, but I didn't want it to be a bad Catholic community. And Bama Catholic has been anything but that, and it's awesome. And those two reasons kind of just drove me all the way. And their engineering college is pretty phenomenal as well. It's like it's either 10th or 13th in the nation. I don't remember. It's up there though. It's not bad. It's a good college.
Gotcha. Would you say football makes you or helps you get through being an engineer too because of the whole environment of the school?
Oh yeah, it's a good reliever on the weekend to go to football games. For those of you that don't know, that Bryant-Denny is the rowdiest stadium in the SEC, and for those of you that think it's Jordan-Hare, you're just wrong, and you know you're wrong, so that's okay. But yeah, so if you go to Bryant-Denny on a game day, you'll never have a better atmosphere than that. It's a wild game. Always get some good plays, and we always end up having a good football team. Nick Saban gets credit for that. But yeah, so that's definitely a good like stress reliever on the weekends to just go out and be able to go watch a football game, have fun. Yeah.
I can't be talking to a University of Alabama student without talking about the Michigan game that happened yesterday. What did you think? What did you think about that?
I've seen it everywhere, but we were out coached that game. I'm not a huge fan of our run plays that were called. I think we went down the center every time, and if there's anything that's more predictable in a game, it's that. It's really disappointing to watch every handoff go straight down the gut and go 2 yards and not go anywhere. For those of you that don't know, that think that last play call was for him to run down the center, it wasn't. Michigan had actually an outstanding call and knew exactly where Milroe was going to run on the left side, and we had a bad snap, and Milroe was supposed to catch it and cut left, but Michigan had 3 players shift right when the play started to cover that side immediately, so Jalen Milroe was forced to get down the center, and it was just outstanding play call on their side, and I really don't think we should have done a run on that play, but it's okay. We lost. It is what it is. Yeah. We got next year coming in. Good 5-star recruits, so that's enjoyable.
So you mentioned this guy named Nazario.
My roommate Nazario. He's a huge influence on my faith life. I've had pretty good conversations with him. We have our late FIFA nights, as we do say. We play a lot of tournaments, so that's a lot of fun. But it's been a blast having him as a roommate. I can't complain about it at all.
Gotcha. Do you guys help each other out with your
studies? We participated in a lot of intramural sports, actually. I wouldn't say studies because he's in a different major, but sure. We do intramural sports together a lot. That's a lot of fun. He is an avid soccer player. I am too, just not pursuing as much as he is. I like kind of more leisure play, and so I've been in intramural soccer. Our team actually won the intramural championship this year, so that was cool and fun to be a part of. And then I'm on co-rec flag football, or not co-rec, just flag football men's. That was a lot of fun. Frat league, actually. We go by Alpha Omega. It's just Bama Catholic team. So I'm in men's soccer, co-rec soccer, flag football, and then next semester I'm going to do a bunch of other stuff. So it's a good way to keep me active because the freshman 15 does exist, and I actually have to gain any weight, so that's been good.
Yep. Fred, you actually lost weight.
A couple pounds. I ate it back over Christmas though, so don't worry about me. Yeah, it's a interesting process. For some reason, I'm losing weight, and
I'm metabolism.
Don't know how that works. Yeah, I guess I'm metabolism.
I know you won in one of the soccer programs that you're doing. Which one was it specifically?
That was the co-rec.
Co-rec? Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a thrilling semifinal. That was real close. We came back and won that in the end, and we won the final 3-2.
3-2. That's a lot of goals to get going.
In the final?
Yeah.
One.
Yeah,
I scored the first one. Yeah. It's
nice.
quick, actually. Came in like the first 2 minutes. It was nice. A little tap in on the corner off a cross. Got me in the box.
Pretty
So
good.
It was nice, yeah. So I'm going to flip the script to you now, just for a second.
Okay.
So because I'm doing soccer, I figured I'd ask you a little bit about your little soccer endeavors that you're going on to. My brother is pursuing a more college sports career, and it's a different lifestyle for sure, but it's definitely something he's passionate about and is good and really needs to lock it in. He's doing really well at it. He's made the MLS Next team. Not next. Is it the next team?
Yeah. This wasn't playing, by the way. I didn't expect to be interviewed.
I'm just going into it. I figured why not surprise him when we're flipping the script. So what?
MLS Next, yeah.
It is the MLS Next, yeah. How is it looking for you to make the starting team this year? Do you think it's possible?
Well, they just rostered me at the end of this last season for our spring games, and I mean, I might have a small chance. Who knows? I'm just gonna work at it and see how high I can get, if I can even start at the games. And they have only a few people that go to each tournament in the different states, so I also have to make it to that too. I gotta be like top 11, like on the starting team, like I said. But we'll just see where God gets me and where I get myself.
Have you played with them yet?
I practiced with them. I practiced with them a little bit last season, and I'm practicing with them fully this season.
If you're gonna put yourself on a ranking with a team, how would you think you would place among them? Like, are you more towards the higher end, do you think, skill wise, or are you towards the bottom? Like, how, looking through the rest of the season, do you think there's potential for you to work your way up?
I don't really focus on comparing myself to others specifically, but when I think about it, I would say I definitely have room to grow. But I need some work. I think I can get to where they are. It just takes some work, and I think I'm a little bit slower or lower in the pack because of my experience level and the amount of people I've played with that were actually that good. So once I adapt to that, I think I'll get to their level and hopefully get a little higher so I can play some college soccer.
So sometimes I don't think there's anything wrong about comparing yourself to others under a certain circumstance. So for me, I ran cross country from 7th grade to senior year. Started off awful, and what actually drove me and helped me become a decent runner in the end was the runners in front of me. And every year I'd push myself to get to their level, and it wasn't like I wanted to be better than them. I just wanted to get better, and I used them as a way to do that. Do you think that playing with players that potentially some of them are better than you is going to help drive you? And I know sometimes it isn't good to compare yourself, but if you were to compare yourself and use that as a drive rather than a breakdown, is that going to benefit you in the future? Could you see yourself doing that?
For sure, yeah. Every human being compares themselves to others. I mean, you can't just say you don't do it because
I agree.
It's an every person thing. But yeah, when I do compare myself to others, I see someone doing really good. I'm like, I wanna be like that guy, or I want to be as good as he is, and as confident as he is. So I gotta, I unintentionally focus on getting better than that dude when I'm trying to tell myself, it's just how far I can get on my own. Not really focusing on other people, but it's an every human being person or thing.
So when every time I come and watch your positions, occasionally will switch. Where do you think what position do you think you'll play as the MLS program?
Hopefully, I play midfield. That's my normal position.
And which side do you prefer? Left, right, center?
Usually right, because I'm left-footed and I can cut in and hopefully shoot or make a good through ball.
So you like the finesse shots, not more of the power?
Depends. Haven't gotten a goal recently. Not a good last season, but we'll see.
What do you look for more in a game? Are you looking to score more, or are you looking for kind of being a playmaker? Because a lot of the time during high school, my goal, I really didn't want to be a really crazy good goal scorer. I thought I was pretty decent at trying to create a play, and so that's kind of what my main focus was. Is that what you're trying to do? Or are you trying to be one of the more the goal scorers of the team? Like, what do you prefer? Like, what's your play style kind of help support?
I would say I'm always looking for opportunities to supply a good through ball into the middle if I could see it with my peripheral vision. But if I also see that like quick shot, I'm not afraid to take it off, like take it. I'm trying to stay aware of the field and whatever I think right away, I'll probably choose that decision over all of them because it's usually I trust my instincts and all that. So.
And you see yourself playing soccer in college if possible, right? Like, is
That's
that like 100%? Is that going to be a deal breaker for a college that doesn't have soccer? If you like, if a college doesn't have soccer, like the University of Alabama, is that going to be a deal breaker for you about going there or not going there?
I mean, that's my main. That's one of my main focuses on going to a college is that they have a soccer team. But we'll see where that gets me and just how far, or we'll see what colleges I can make it to when I get offers for it. So,
I'm gonna flip the switches again on you. And recently, you've decided it's almost like he's had a midlife crisis before midlife. You've decided to try and pursue this career in photography, and you're learning. It's getting there. Your photography is getting pretty good. It's really cool to watch the progress go. I took photography for a year in high school, so I really enjoyed taking pictures, and it's nice to see him kind of pursue that because it's something I really wish I kind of focused on more. Because I thought I had a talent in it, and if I did focus on it, I thought I could get better at it. But it's nice to see you're living my dream up and that. And how's that working for you?
well, first of all, I'm liking not having to come up with the questions to ask anymore.
Yes.
You know, I'm getting interrogated now, but I'm really enjoying it for sure. Just started up this podcast, and it's one of those riskier things that you said, like to hopefully get a career out of. So as of right now, trying to figure out if it is the thing for me, and to see how far I can actually get with it at a younger age because it's not going to affect me now.
Yeah.
More than it'll affect me in the future. But I do really enjoy it, and I think with my creative minds that I have, I think I can slowly get better at it. And I think the same as I think for soccer as in photography. It's just you work at it, you get better, and you see what other people do, and you learn from it. So just basically replicating what people do and trying to do it my way specifically. So.
And for those of you that are pursuing photography and stuff, I don't want to discourage you at all. I think it's really important if you're going into something like that to definitely start at a younger age. Like, I think his age is good because what it's doing is it's giving him time to network and create an image and create a company. Because for stuff like that, it all is about experience. And if you get that experience, it's really important. I found that with my roommate, especially as well. He ran into Greg McElroy at the airport, and Greg McElroy told him really experience is so important in this field. And it really is in a lot of other fields, and I think it's definitely that way in photography. And photography is very much how you make it out to be. Like, you decide your path, and I think that's huge. Where do you see this path taking you in the college and like towards college? Are you going to use it towards something else, or do you want to be a wedding photographer or something like that? Where are you wanting to go with this photography?
Well, I'm wanting to at least put the main focus of photography in whatever I do. So if I'm going to go to college because I want to pursue soccer, I'm going to study like marketing or something along those lines, like marketing, finance, or just somewhere in the business category where I can learn to like create my own business and pursue in that and learn all the valuable skills, because I think marketing and finance are very important aspects of a business because you have to know how to attract your customers, and you have to know how to like what to use your money on specifically and how to manage it all. But I think the business part of it, I think you can kind of learn on your own just through books and all that stuff. But yeah, just whatever I can apply photography to is what I really want to do. But if I was to go to college, I would choose marketing and finance. So.
Okay. Yeah, those are definitely good careers to pursue. The commercial market is huge these days, commercials are getting produced like that, and they're always looking for people to put out advertisements and stuff for their company. Just because sometimes they're looking for people who are younger who can grow and have a lot more growing too, especially if they can be hired cheap. And you'll eventually find your stuff getting more and more popular as going along if your stuff is good and if you train. But yeah, I think that's a really good way to look at it, and a future in marketing I think would really work out for you. For those of you who are dying to know what I'm drinking, it's just like an AHA or LaCroix, but not it. It's like the Kroger brand of seltzer water. So
we're not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm not that high,
it'd be cool to know if we were sponsored, but no.
I mean, if you see this seltzer water, sponsor me.
Yeah, Kroger seltzer water. This is the cranberry lime flavor. It's actually really good. Y'all should try it. It's cheaper and healthier. I mean, all it is, the flavors are, or the not the flavors, the ingredients: carbonated water and natural flavors. Yeah, that's it. It's pretty good though. I don't have any complaints. If you like just the little hints of flavors in your drink and really like that, Kroger seltzer water, cranberry lime, go for it. It's a blast. But yeah, that's all the questions I have for you. You got any more for me?
Yeah, I'm gonna switch back. So, with your engineering pursuit, are you thinking of ever switching, or are you completely set in stone?
I'm pretty set on it. Again, the law career in the end is possible.
Sure.
I don't want to switch while I'm in college though.
Yeah, it's not
the thing about mechanical engineering, which I haven't told you all this yet, the thing about mechanical engineering and why I chose mechanical engineering is because it's the broadest engineering major out there. So there's so much opportunity as a mechanical engineer. And what a lot of people don't know is for your first 2 years of engineering, you're going to have basically the same classes as every other engineer. Okay, so they don't really differ unless you're like a metallurgical engineer or some really specialized engineer. They don't really differ for your base classes. So you have 2 years kind of to make up your mind about what you want to be engineering-wise. And so if you stick with mechanical engineering all the way through, it'll pretty much get you most engineering jobs that are out there, except for maybe electrical, which sometimes electrical engineers are specialized kind of in their own way. But it's really good to, like, if I want an aerospace job or an aeronautical job, it'll get me one of those. It's just so broad, and the opportunities are endless. And that's one thing that I will say will never go to end is engineering, especially in the mechanical field, because there's always buildings that need to be constructed. There's always new steel plates that are being made. There's always upgrades to stuff that are happening. Like stuff that'll never go away because stuff is always being built, and it's got a stable future ahead of it. And I think I like that security, and that's just something that I find comforting going along.
Gotcha. So what would you put on your resume that would attract any business or any job opportunity for you afterwards? Like, would you put your farming, just any other stuff like that?
Farming, definitely. Every internship I get. I don't know if I put any scholarship awards on there. Maybe a couple ones that I've received from maybe companies or stuff like that have rewarded me for anything. Just stuff like that. If I ever get any experience with anything, honors college. If I stay honors college throughout my 4 years, I would put on my resume. And then just some stuff from high school that I've done, some awards I received, stuff like that.
Gotcha. All right, man. I think that's all the questions I got for you.
All right. It's nice having a podcast with you, bro.